Good evening, fifth graders. Today is one of my favorite lessons of the year. Okay, we're dealing with maximum, minimum, mode, median, and mean. You've been working with this ever since second grade, but I don't know if you've ever been taught it the way I'm going to teach you right now. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different M's. I can see how it gets confusing to remember which is which stands for what, how to do these things. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I can remember these things. All right, works for you, maybe not. First of all, Max. I always think of this guy named Maximus. And maybe you've seen it before, you probably haven't. But there's this guy who was a gladiator, okay, in the Roman Colosseum. His name was Maximus. He was pretty neat. He would be put in this Colosseum and he'd have to fight different men. There'd be different animals. Maximus was strong. He was very strong. He was the strongest. Okay, so he always had to fight to his actual maximum power in order to survive the Roman Colosseum. This guy was pretty sweet. That's how I remember maximum. It's the biggest one. It's the biggest number. So whenever you're dealing with maximum, I want you to think the biggest number, and all of you can count, so I know you can find which one is the largest. But remember this guy. His name is Maximus. Next one, we have mini for minimum. Okay? There's many different ways to think of the word mini. This is what comes to my mind. I have Mini-Me. Some of you have maybe seen this movie. If you haven't, it's quite all right. I don't know if you probably should watch it quite yet. But the funny thing is, we have a grown guy and a little guy. And the mini one looks just like the grown one. So Beckett's kind of like my Mini-Me. Okay. Here's another one. When I grew up, we had something called micro machines. They're tiny little cars. Okay. Keep that in mind. We have small little objects. This works with the word minimum. This is the actual smallest number in your data. So these two words, these two M's are pretty easy. Maximum is the largest. Think of Maximus. Minimum, mini, is the very smallest one. Okay? We shouldn't get these two confused. Here's one that kids kind of get mixed up. We have the word most. I have mo underlined. I want you to think of the word most. It's coming from the word mode. It's the most of something. Okay? This guy right here has a ton of action figures. I don't know how long he's been collecting them. And it even looks like they're all in the box, so I bet he spends hours on eBay or Amazon, whatever he sells those on. Maybe he's keeping them for a while. This lady obviously has way too many stuffed animals, but she has the most stuffed animals I've ever seen, so it's helping me with the word most, or mode is the word you're looking for. Let's take a look at another one of these pictures. I enjoy pictures. This lady enjoys Walt Disney. Those are the most Mickey Mouse faces I've seen. Keep on going here. This guy has the most spices I've ever seen. Looks like this guy enjoys his wings. I love my chicken wings as well. I bet some of those are going to be pretty hot spices. Look at all those spices. He has the most spices I've ever seen. How about these Pez dispensers? Those are the most Pez dispensers I've seen. So when you see the word mode, I want you to be thinking of most. And what that means, kids, is what number happens the most times. So when you're looking at a bunch of different numbers, what numbers appear more than once? That's the mode. It's pretty basic. So we've already gone over 3 of the 5 M's. The middle number. Kids always get this one confused. After you put the numbers from smallest to largest, you have a number right in the middle. That is your median. It's your middle number. I think of it as monkey in the middle. I had 2 older siblings, so can you imagine? I was always the monkey in the middle. Till I started crying and my mom and dad would come help me. Now I'm a lot bigger than my brother and sister, so they can't do that anymore. Okay, I got this guy crossing a little tightrope. If he falls, looks like he's going to be lunched to the crocodiles or alligators. Keep on going here. Got the middle of an Oreo. Then we have a cat that is in the middle of the couch. Median is the key word you're thinking here. It's the middle number. I'm going to be showing you how to work this stuff out, but I want you to keep these things in mind. This tree is in the middle of the road. I got some more. I forgot about all these fun ones. This guy right here, Malcolm in the middle. He's quite a bit older now. The keyword median. This one's the hardest one for kids to remember. So if we have Maximus, that's the maximum number. Minimum, mini-me. Mode, I want to think about a guy that has all those Pez dispensers or all those action figures, the number that happens the most. Median, That's the only one that doesn't really kind of sound like middle very well, does it? So I want you to remember median as the one that's the number right in the middle is your median. Okay? Mean. This is how I tell this one to kids. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Okay? I want you to think of the word mean, as in someone being mean to you or you being mean to somebody. Because a lot of you are going to think that this one is the most work to find. So I want you to think it's being mean. This girl thinks the mom's being mean to her because his mom's telling her or dad's telling her to clean her room. I think she should clean her room. I don't think she's just being mean to herself for not doing that. Yikes. What else we got here? Those look like a bunch of hangers. Looks like something I would do to Mrs. Green. Oof. She would think I was being mean. This next one is completely something I do at home, and Mrs. Green gets very upset with me. Those are the Tupperware drawer. I need to be better about putting those things away. So when I don't, Mrs. Green has every right to be mean to me until I get it all cleaned up. Mean. When you're finding the mean, you have to add up all the numbers, and then you have to divide by however many numbers there are. So let's say you have like 6 numbers. You have to add them all up and then divide it by 6. Do you see why it's mean? You have the most work to try and do those problems. Let's work out a couple of these problems here. First off, I better move this. Whenever you see a bunch of numbers, the first thing you have to do is put them in order from smallest to largest. And I'm going to do this right at the bottom of this page so we can do it. The smallest number I have up here is number 14. I'm just going to go ahead and cross it off and write the 14 down. As I'm walking around the room tomorrow and we're solving problems like this, if you don't have these numbers written out from smallest to largest before I come and help you, it's the first thing I'm going to tell you. Make sure you write them from smallest to largest. Got the number 17. My next smallest is 27. My next smallest is 28. Next is 28. Yeah, you have to write 28 twice if there's two 28s. 29, 32, 45. Now I have to ask maximum, maximus. What's my largest number? Boom, I just go all the way to the right. 45 is my largest. That was easy. My minimum number, mini-me, all the way to the left. Boom, 14 is my smallest. Range. Where did my range slide go? I skipped past range. I'm going back to range. Range, I think of the driving range. When I grew up in Japan, I did a lot of golfing. There was driving ranges just like this all over the place. Sorry, kids, I missed the range. I'm going to have to rewind and fast forward, but we're going to keep going here. Why do you think I have range up here? Well, this is what range means. You always start off at 0 at a driving range. Take a look at these driving ranges. Pretty neat. This one has 3 floors to it. Anyways, you always start off at 0, and then there are markers, or there's distance markers out straight ahead of you. So however far you hit the golf ball and where it lands, you know the distance. How do you find the range? Well, you start at 0, which would be the smallest, and you go all the way out to how far it went. So let's say it went 200 yards. Well, you would take 200 minus 0, and you'd get 200 yards. I'll show you what I meant by that. Range means you have to take the biggest number and subtract it from the smallest number. Do you see how that's kind of like a driving range? So in this driving range, I started at 14 and I hit it up to 45. Go ahead and subtract. 1 and 3, 31 is my range. Median. This is why you have the numbers like this. You cross one off on the left, cross one off on the right, cross one off on the left, cross one off on the right, cross one off on the left, cross one off on the right. In this situation, we have 2 numbers in the middle, okay? If we cross them both off, then we're not going to have a middle number. In this case, they're the same number, which is pretty easy. The median is 28, because that's what number would be in between there. Let's say I had I'm just going to give you an example, a 26 and a 28 here. My median would be a 27, because that's what would be in between them. Okay, how am I doing on time? I'm going to do one more really quick. Nice set of numbers here. Okay, what I'm going to do just to save some time, I want you to try and solve these problems for me. I'm going to press pause. So as soon as you press play, the answers are going to be there. So I want you to press pause right now. Now I'm going to show you how to find the median here. So I'm going to cross off the 32, cross off a 99, cross off a 57, cross off a 99, cross off another 57, cross off a 99, cross off a 65, cross off 87, 78, 87, 82, 85, 85, 85. Left with two numbers left, nothing in the middle because they're both 85s. 85 is my median. If I was asked what number happened the most, I would have to say 85 happened the most. If I had to find the mean, I'd have to add up each one of these numbers. I would get a big number. Trust me, I would let you use a calculator on this, okay, to find the mean. How many numbers do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you have to add up all those numbers, and then you'd have to divide by 16 to find the mean. Understand why that one's kind of mean? It's a lot of work. Hopefully this helped. Can't wait to see you tomorrow at school.